Battle of Chamkaur, written by Siddhant Samir Kumar, illustrated by Apoorv Kesari. There was a ruthless Mughal emperor called Aurangzeb who had imprisoned his own father and killed his brother for power and glory. Aurangzeb had decided that he would change India into a land where Sharia would rule. He had decided that Islam would be the only religion of India. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji decided to stand up for the right of freedom of worship and sent word to Delhi with a proposal for the emperor. If you can convince Guru Tegh Bahadur to accept Islam, then all others will accept your faith. The Mughals tortured the Guru in so many ways to make him convert his religion, but he was relentless. Finally, the brave Guru Tegh Bahadur was arrested and publicly beheaded. When his head rolled down, all saw a small note on a string around his neck. It read, "I gave my head, but not my faith." A strong message which he passed on to establish the sense of freedom and choice. His only son, who was mere 11 years old, took the news with a deep insight and maturity. In his eyes, his father was the great man capable of such a sacrifice, as no other person could match the greatness of his beloved father. Also, with sudden demise of his father, this little tiger cub named Guru Gobind Singh took up the matters in his hand and was made the 10th Guru by Sikhs. With the persistent persecution of the Gurus by the Mughals and no respite, Guru Gobind Singh asked his fellows to pick up arms against the oppression and injustice. Thus, he created the Khalsa, the militant sect of the Sikh religion. The Khalsa was enjoined to maintain a brotherhood of arms and take decisions collectively to fight the oppressor for the sake of the helpless and downtrodden. The Khalsa started attracting people in vast numbers, and their rising power and strength not only made the Mughals nervous but also frightened the kings of the Shivalik hills. They soon joined hands with each other to defeat this massive wave called the Khalsa. They soon attacked the Anandpur fortress where the Guru was staying. But they faced a greater resistance, and the idea of quick victory they were looking at was forced away. The Sikhs attacked the invaders with the artillery fire and did sudden raids in which supplies were seized and terrible casualty was inflicted upon the invaders. All attempts to storm the fortress was unsuccessful. This truce went on for 7 months, and the forces on both sides started feeling the pressure of diminishing food, fodder, and supplies for the army and horses. Women and children were famished and were falling sick. Looking at this suffering and hard pressed by the Sikhs and his family, Guru agreed to a negotiation with the Mughals. At this stage, a proposal of safe passage to the Guru, his family, and his followers, along with negotiation for peace on honorable terms, was sent. An oath was on the Quran by the Emperor Aurangzeb, and an oath on the cow by the hill chieftains was taken. With the promise of no attack and safe withdrawal, Guru Gobind Singh came out of the fort on a chilly cold night in December. Armed with 400 strong Sikhs, they reached on the banks of the river Sarsa and camped on the river bank. Everything seemed all right. Everyone felt that the Mughals would keep their word this time, but as it grew dark, the Sikh guards sensed something hovered. Soon they began to hear the sounds of the movements of cavalry and occasional war cries of the Mughal armies. The respective holy oaths taken proved to be meaningless, as Mughals lost no time in betraying their promises to the Guru, and almost as soon as the Sikhs had left the safety of their impregnable fortress and were out in the open. Off guard, they were attacked by the Mughals' force with full force. The Sikhs, about 400 strong, fought a rearguard action that has no parallels in the annals of military history. While they successfully helped rest of the Sikhs, Guru Sahib and Guru Sahib's family crossed the river in the heat of the battle. Mughals had come fully prepared, and many Sikhs lost their life, some fighting, some attempting to cross the icy cold river, and some were just swept away by the swift current. Of the total of 400 that had left Anandpur, only the Guru, his two eldest sons, the Panch Pyaras, and some soldiers were able to cross the river and regroup on the other side. Exhausted and famished, these 40 brave warriors reached Chamkaur and took shelter for enemy in a mud fortress with high walls. Guru sat in the corner, humming a bhajan, and others were sitting or lying around. An unspoken silence hung in the air. The sky was imbued with orangish hue, though the setting sun had moved behind the horizon. Suddenly, all sat alert, pressing their ears to the distant sound of racing hoofs and infantry. They are coming, Bhai Dharam Singh exclaimed, peeping through a crack. All moved swiftly to grab whatever weaponry they all had. In no time, more than 1 lakh Mughal soldiers surrounded the mud fortress at the hill, and inside sat huddled the 40 brave Sikhs of Khalsas. It was early morning hours of 7 December 1705. Eyes were heavy and red with lack of sleep. No one had blinked their eyes that night, alert and aware to every move of the enemy. Wake up, Sangat Singh, it's time for prayers. Let's do Kirtan, Guruji said. Sangat Singh, hearing his Guru's words, sprung into action, putting his weapons in place. His eyes followed his Guru, walking around, monitoring and the fortress and its walls. What an amazing warrior saint my Guru is. An army of around 1 lakh was pursuing Guru Sahib and planning to attack the place where they were staying, and yet Guru Sahib was still blissfully continuing his daily discipline of meditation and prayers. Guru Maharaj writes in the Zafarnama, line 13, Aurangzeb, I have no trust in your oaths. God is one, and that he is witness. Line 14. I don't trust an equivalent to even a drop in your generals. Line 15. If anyone trusts on your oath on Quran, that person is bound to be doomed in the end. There was a chill in the air, and it was not morning yet. Officers from the Mughals army sent a messenger with terms of treaty demanding submission to Islamic law, which the Guru Sahib declined and asked the messenger to go away or face death. Inside the four walls of the mud house, the war had been declared by Guru Sahib. They could hear Nawab Wazir Khan announcing outside the fort, Gobind Singh, if you and your Sikhs come out now you will be spared. But before the announcement ended, Guru Sahib replied to him with rain of arrows. The handful of soldiers guarded the strategic positions and continuously fought with their bows and arrows. These tiger warriors and their shots struck terror among the enemy and killed them in large numbers. But soon the arrows were exhausted and Mughal soldiers started to cave in from all sides. Many injured Sikh soldiers laid inside the fort fighting for life, with no options left but physical combat. Guru Sahib started sending remaining soldiers in small batches. The battle raged harder than the ferocity of the sun. All across battlefield, hand-to-hand combat occurred. For every Khalsa member slain many times his number, the amount of Mughals fell. Guruji called his young son Baba Ajit Singh and handed him a weapon and asked him to take 8 soldiers and go from the front of the fort. With battle cry of Jo Bole So Nihal, the young boy displayed remarkable courage and bravery as he confidently showcased advanced weaponry skills on the battlefield, killing and wounding many. Using the 5 Khalsa weapons, the Sikhs decimated their adversaries on the battlefield. It seemed as though a grave calamity had struck the enemy. the Singh warriors had arrived as harbingers of death. Proud Guru Sahib watched his sons fight with a grit, and being surrounded by many, he fought till his last breath. There was a brief silence, and Guru Sahib roared a jaikara of Sat Shri Akal. Without a pause, Baba Jujhar Singh took his father's blessings and moved into the battlefield with the three other soldiers. The Mughals watched in shock at the bravery of these four soldiers, who fought the rising army with these sword and barefoot, lifeless corpses scattered all around. Hundreds gathered with the intent to eliminate Baba Jujhar Singh. Guru Sahib, seeing that the Sikhs were being encircled and the chance to neutralize the Mughal soldiers was diminishing, he started shooting some cover arrows and killed many. Guru Sahib and the four Sikhs demonstrated the Sikh concept of one equaling Sawa Lakh. Baba Jujhar Singh broke the circle of Mughal army but finally laid down his life fighting. The Khalsa were almost wholly surrounded now. As the day ended, Guru Gobind Singh found himself with only 5 Sikhs remaining in the fortress. Invoking the spirit of Khalsa, they all requested Guru Sahib to safely leave the fort and regroup with his followers and resume the fight against oppression. With no choice left, Guru Sahib consented and exchanged his own clothes to another soldiers who bore some resemblance to him in physique. With a changed attire and under the cover of darkness, Guru Sahib with three other Sikhs walked straight out through the Mughals' army. As the imperial troops entered the fort with least resistance, the next day they found only 2 soldiers who were determined to fight and die rather than surrender. Guru Sahib went into hiding, writing the Zafarnama and building up the strength of the Sikh movement to try and reach its former strength and to surpass it. While he was hiding, he learned about the deaths of his 2 youngest sons. They had refused to convert to Islam and were bricked into a wall where they starved to death. He said that it does not matter that my sons have died. I have 1,000 more in the Sikhs. He later wrote in a massive letter to Aurangzeb that he had broken his promise on Quran and that the heavens would cause him to suffer for his breach of agreement. So, in conclusion, we have just learned about the brave sacrifice that could have been as useless as the charge of the Light Brigade, but ultimately was an important to modern history, as the 300 at Thermopylae, the Battle of Summer, and there are so many battles from the across the world that have not gotten a proper story written about them, that are ignored in favor for famous battles that happened in famous civilizations. Chamkaur is just one shining example of how understudied some of these battles, which should really be brought into the public eye, are ignored by the majority of the population and admired by the minority. So, what did we truly learn here? Was it history or was it a lesson on bravery? Only God knows, because I sure as a heck don't know what I wrote. Maybe it's a mix of both, maybe it's one, who knows. So take away whatever you wish to take away, because I will take away the story and the bravery. As I said before, this book allows you to choose what you take away, whatever you choose to take. So take whatever you want, and however you want.